Ladies and gents, it's Saturday. It's gorgeous weather, but I am suffering from a podcast hangover that is throbbing like the nether regions of a panda that's just broken out of the friend zone. But be that as it may, it is still time for an alternative paper review. First up to the Sun this morning, Charles losing patience. He's losing patience. That is right. Charles is losing his patience. Losing his patience like Harold Shipman? No, of course. This is the story that King Charles is looking to evict Prince Andrew from the Royal Lodge on the Windsor Great Park estate. And the headline is, of course, the Royal Squatter, because then it evokes imagery or connotations of an arrogant, entitled prince who's just refusing to budge. Now, lodge is actually quite a misleading term for what this thing is. You know, you say lodge, you think of, a ski lodge, a hunting or hunter's lodge, a little wooden house, right, in the middle of nowhere, maybe 2 or 3 bedrooms max. This thing is a 30-room mansion in the middle of Windsor Great Park. Just a sprawling, great, big, bloody man. Like, it is to lodges what the Super Bowl halftime show is to a shit baby shower. Now, as a former upper circle royal, but one who is now so shamed he can never return to public duties, the king has probably rightly concluded it's not really fit and proper for him to be using up this great big mansion. He's like, you may not like this, Andy, but there are other royals now who are going to have to plug the gap that you've left. And they're going to get all of the press attention, the negative PR and everything. So it's only fair that they get at least some of the benefits of being a major front page splash royal, right? So you need to pack up and off. And of course, they've offered him other dwellings, most notably Harry and Meghan's old place. Which, I don't know if you remember this, but in their Netflix thing, they were like, it's kind of wild. You would think princes and princesses live in like great big palaces, but here they were living in this sort of decrepit, unloved, kind of falling to bits little house. So Andrew's like, no, I like living in great big, plush, luxurious, opulent palaces. And Charles, of course, remember, he's the king, he's the sovereign now, so he gets a say, if not the major say, in how funding is allocated to the other royals. So now he's basically saying, according to these reports, he's like, look, you can either move, get out of the lodge, or I'm going to start making life really financially uncomfortable for you. And Andrew's probably thinking something along the lines of, well, hang on a second, that's mum's money there, right, that you're allocating to me. I don't think mum would want her favourite son to be going broke or to be getting evicted or to be defunded. What gives you the right to defund me with our mother's money? To which Charles would probably respond, yeah, but you've already had your money. Do you remember that woman who you said that you'd never met? But she said that you sweated all over her and that she was trafficked in to have sex with you. You said you'd never met her, but then you agreed to pay her £15 million of mum's money that you would have inherited. So you've probably already had yours, don't you think? I mean, look, we don't like to get too judgy on these paper reviews, do we? We've all gone out with people that we probably weren't that fussed about. We've all taken them out for dinner or paid for a weekend away, and then we've looked back at that episode 2 or 3 months later and we thought, oh my God, like, I knew that was never going to turn into anything. So in a weird way, it's like I paid £700 for 5 minutes of sex. You know, in your lesser, colder moments, you could work out the financial cost of a casual sexual encounter. But I, even in my foolish teens and 20s, even at my most foolish, I pat myself on the back. I never spent £15 million on a regrettable sexual encounter. Over to the Mirror now. Deluded, deranged and dangerous. This is obviously the story that Donald Trump, following his conviction, has described America as a fascist state, which is kind of weird, isn't it? Because he is a fascist. He's a textbook fascist. So for him to call America a fascist state is a bit like, yeah, it is. Why are you so angry about it? Over to the Express, who say at-home test is going to turn the tide on prostate cancer. Which sounds good, doesn't it? right? It sounds positive. If you're a man over 50, you probably read that headline, you'd be like, okay, all right. But you have to remember there are two sides to every story, and that is just men over the age of 50. Conversely, their children, who will be in their, 20s and 30s, will now have to wait even longer to inherit money to be able to buy their first home. Like, isn't it great, son? What a time to be alive. I just got a couple of those prostate tests, so I can catch prostate cancer super early and I can stick around a few more years. And the son's like, oh, great. Yeah, that's really good, Dad. Yeah, I'm really happy for you. Do you want another cigarette? Guys, that's it for this one. If you're not on the Patreon or the YouTube community yet, there are links to both in the description below. I'm doing an in-person meetup in London on Saturday, the 6th of July. So if you're coming down to London for the election results, because the election's on Thursday, results Friday. If you're down in London, come and meet me and the rest of the Patreons and the YouTube people Saturday, the 6th of July. All right? Peace.